You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios, live in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com. Streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Chatting with Cathy.
Hello, everyone. Bing is for doing, and we are doing another episode of Chatting with Cathy right here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Cathy Kelly, and today's guest, Raisman, is here in studio. Allie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
And Allie, your accomplishments are so astronomical for being so young.
Thank you.
I mean, you have 2 gold medals, a bronze medal from the London 2012 Olympics, and you also captivated America's hearts when you competed in season 16 of Dancing with the Stars. I am personally excited for this interview because I just know how modest you are and what a good role model you are for young girls everywhere.
Thank you. That means a lot. I try to be. I mean, I remember being that little girl. I wanted to go to the Olympics. I wanted to be just like those gymnasts. So, you know, it means a lot, and I take the role of being a role model very seriously.
Yeah, and I know that your mom started you in Mommy and Me classes when you were just 2 years old. There are so many girls that they start out doing gymnastics, but it's more of a hobby. So when did it transition from just being a hobby to being something that you wanted to do competitively?
Well, I was the first child. I'm the oldest. So, like, my parents put me in everything. I did soccer, baseball, basketball, ice skating, and my dad coached me in a lot of those sports. And I loved everything. I was really athletic. But when I was 8, I chose between soccer and gymnastics. I've always loved gymnastics more than any of the other sports. And I don't know, you know, my favorite event has always been floor. I've always been very energetic, and I love how much of a challenge it is.
Mm-hmm. And I know that competing, I mean, when you're that young, is there pressure at all?
Well, when you're really young, you kind of don't really think about it. I remember my first competition, I forgot part of my floor routine. Like, I was nervous, but I remember I won my first competition, so I was so excited. I had no idea what to expect. But when I was younger, I always, when I was 7, I did pre-team, and they made me repeat it because I wasn't good enough. And
oh, no.
Yeah, they never thought I was good enough, and I would always just work really, really hard, and I loved it so much, so I would always, like, surpass people's expectations. So, yeah. I mean, I always tell the moms, when I meet young gymnasts and they ask me questions, I'm always like, there's no rush. You know, it doesn't matter if you're the best at 7. It matters when you get older. So just pace yourself. And, you know, sometimes I think the moms get a little bit too excited. Sometimes.
The moms are more competitive than the kids sometimes. Yeah. So did those people telling you that you weren't good enough or that you couldn't do it, did that make you want it more?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been like that. I love to prove people wrong. It was just my coaches, you know, they'd say, you're not ready, you still need to work on this a little bit more. But, I mean, I think that's kind of my whole life. You know, I love proving people wrong, and I love, you know, before the Olympics, if you had asked me questions about it, I didn't like to talk about it. I didn't say anything about it. You know, my school friends would ask me about it, and I would say, oh, I don't know, I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't know, because you just don't want that pressure. And I'd rather just kind of, like, do the talking on the floor. I don't like to talk about it.
Yeah. So training, I mean, it's intense. Mm-hmm. You train 7 hours a day when you are in training.
Yes.
Was it ever difficult to balance school, friends, training, being a teenager in general?
It definitely was. I mean, when I was in middle school, I would definitely get more left out than, in high school. But I mean, it was hard. You know, my school friends were going to the school dances. They were starting to hang out with boys. And so, you know, I would get upset about it. But then as soon as I got to the gym, that was the place I loved to be more than any other place. It was my passion, and, you know, it just felt right. And then, you know, I also got to travel, and my teammates in gymnastics were amazing. You know, we're still so close, best friends. And then, you know, in high school, my Olympic dream got a little bit more realistic. So I started to I didn't feel as left out because I was hoping that my dreams would come true. But it's funny, in high school, you know, the boys are way more into it 'cause they love sports and stuff, so they would always ask me about it.
Yeah. I know in 8th grade, your classmates voted you most likely to be on ESPN,
yes.
And now you're actually nominated for 2 ESPYs.
That's so crazy. I didn't even actually make that connection. But I'm just so happy. I didn't expect to be nominated for 2 ESPYs, so I'm so honored, so excited. I get to be nominated with my teammates and then with Gabby and Missy for the Best Female Olympian. So that's just so surreal and so exciting.
And I know that you're a huge fan of sports. So
yes, I love sports.
Are there any athletes that you're excited to meet at the ESPYs?
I mean, there's just so many. I was actually at the Bruins game the other night when they lost to the Blackhawks. So it was sad because I'm a Bruins fan, but obviously, you know, the Blackhawks won, so happy.
I'm
for
from
the
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah, your publicist told me that you're a huge Bruins fan. I was like, oh, we're gonna fight.
No, but I mean it. You can't win everything. You know, they did a great job, but so happy for the Blackhawks.
And the Bruins were amazing this season.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
Awesome. I love the Bruins. And I mean, especially everything that happened with the Boston Marathon. They gave everyone, you know, something to look forward to and something to smile about. So I hope that, you know, of course they're upset, but I hope they're all so proud of themselves because, I mean, they represent everything that Boston is, Boston strong.
Yeah, and that's something that's resonated across all of the country, being Boston strong after the tragedy that happened there. I know that you've actually helped 2 of the victims, raising money for them, so tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I went to an event for Adrian, and she lost her legs, and so she's in a wheelchair. They actually did a piece on her for Dancing with the Stars, and she's the most amazing woman I've ever met. I mean, just she's always smiling, always happy. I mean, she was sitting there in her wheelchair while everyone was up dancing, and you know, she told me, she's like, I'm going to dance again, and I was like,
she was
okay.
a dancer, right?
Yes, a ballroom dancer, so I'm going to be there the first time she dances, so I can't wait. And, you know, I'm cheering her on. I actually got her number, and I text her every few days just to keep up, so I'm so excited for her. She's an inspiration to me and everyone else, so she's amazing.
That's awesome. And you do so much for charity. I mean, you are doing actually our creator Maria Menounos' charity event later today, Day of Beauty, where you go to the LA Children's Hospital, and there are a lot of terminally and seriously ill kids there, but you guys kind of help them and make them feel better for a day.
Yeah, I mean, it's so exciting to be able to go there. I'm really excited, and it's going to be cool to give them makeovers. I mean, those kids are just, I mean, they're so brave, so strong, and they're going to look so beautiful today with their makeup on, so I hope that they feel as beautiful as they are.
Yeah, and I know that there are kids there that they've been there for multiple years, and this is what they look forward to every single year.
I mean, I think it's just so amazing for Maria to do that. It's such a great idea. I mean, it's awesome, and I'm really looking forward to it today. I'm so happy that I could make it out here to LA. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than to be there with those kids.
Yeah. So going back to gymnastics for a little bit, I know that you said in an interview a while ago that every time you learn a new skill, you're scared to do it.
Oh my God. Well, a lot of people, you know, especially the young gymnasts, when I was younger, I thought that if you were on TV or you competed in the Olympics, you were just perfect. You know, and I think that little kids still think that. So when they ask me questions, they say, were you ever nervous or anything? I'm like, yeah, I still was. You know, even competing at the Olympics, I mean, all the girls, we were terrified to do our vault. I mean, we were so nervous. It's the hardest vault in the world, so it was really... It's scary, you know, it takes a lot of practice and years, but even once you get to that level, you're still nervous to do it.
And you have so many eyes on you.
Yeah.
Just
There's a lot of pressure. Yeah, I mean, I remember going into floor finals, I was so nervous for my first pass. It was really long, so I was having a little bit of trouble with it in training. You know, you're exhausted. You're there for weeks in London. It's the time change. It's everything. So I was nervous I was going to completely land out of the floor, but when I got out there, as soon as the music started playing, I just kind of forgot about everything, and luckily I did it well, so it was fine. But you know,
you did it well. You got a gold medal.
Well, it's all about, you know, I learned the mentality. You know, you have to go out there and you have to go to hit it. You know, I kind of woke up that morning and I was like, okay, today's going to be a good day.
Yeah. So before the Olympics, you were faced with a very difficult decision. You got a scholarship from the University of Florida and had to decide whether to forego NCAA eligibility or go pro. You obviously went pro. So what led to that decision?
Well, I had told the University of Florida when I first committed, I think as a sophomore, and I said that, you know, if World Championships go well, I do want to go professional, you know, because I love traveling. I love doing events and stuff, and I don't know, I figured that why not give it a try. So I'm really happy. I made the decision in November, and World Championships were in October, so it was less than a year before the Olympics. So I'm happy that I made that decision, because I wouldn't have been able to do Dancing with the Stars or all the cool things that I've gotten to do.
And that's just an opportunity that you couldn't pass up.
Yeah, I didn't want to look back and think, like, what if I had tried that?
So not only were you on the gymnastics team, but you were the captain of the Olympic gymnastics team. I know that there's a lot of pressure going into the Olympics as is. Was there added pressure?
Well, I mean, a little bit, but I tried not to think about that. I was so honored that the girls voted me for team captain. I was the oldest, so I'm also the oldest of my siblings. I have a brother and 2 sisters, and I'm pretty much the oldest at my gym, so I always kind of try to take care of the younger ones. But I don't know, it was just really exciting. It was a huge honor, and I mean, we all just worked so together as a team. I think that was the main reason why we won. We were so prepared, but we went in there and we just had so much fun. We didn't think that we were at the Olympics. We just cheered for each other. I mean, I competed beam and floor, but when the rest of the girls were on vault or bars, I was like living every single move with them, cheering for them and watching every step. So I think, we were just so as a team, so it was awesome.
Yeah. And there are a lot of hours that go into practice, even while you're there. What do you do to keep the other girls motivated?
Well, actually, I don't even need to motivate them, because it's just like they're so amazing. We're all there for each other. It's so great. And I was thinking about it. It's really rare to have 5 girls and have us all get along. When you put like 5 girls together from all over the country, you never know how it's gonna go. But we've all known each other. We all we all actually have other siblings, so I think we're all used to like getting along with each other and kind of like sharing with your siblings. So it worked out perfectly, and we all just like wanted it more than anything. Our coaches, they pushed us to the limits, and we would vent to each other, and we would just like work together. So it was really awesome.
It's great to have peers that are going through the same thing that you are.
Yes, it was very helpful. And I mean, even now, the Olympics were almost a year ago. We have a group message today. We were talking actually today. I was like, let's go to like in 2017. Let's just like go on vacation together. And so we decided on Bora Bora we're gonna go. We don't know
girls
when,
trip.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
We're like, let's do it, because everyone's there. Some of us are in school, and some of us are back in training. So we're gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
And I know that you guys have become a family almost.
Yes, for sure. I mean, we're so close. I can call them and tell them anything. I mean, they know me better than I know myself. We've been through everything together. We before the Olympics, we prepared ourselves for competing, but we definitely didn't prepare ourselves for what was to come after. We didn't expect to get recognized or anything. I remember going to New York and just going to the airport, and everyone had their camera phones out, and everyone was taking pictures of us, and we were just getting a smoothie. Like, we didn't even know. We were like, how do they even know who we are? We had no idea what was going on. So we kind of all experienced it together. So it's been really cool.
I know when you were in London, you started getting like marriage proposals on Twitter. And how does that affect you?
I mean, at first, like, it's just really bizarre. I mean, you still never even get used to it. Even yesterday, just getting recognized sitting by the pool, it's just still like, it's still so surreal, because you just don't even expect it. I mean, the Olympics were about a year ago, so I would not expect people to still recognize me as the gymnast, but I mean, I get recognized a lot for Dancing with the Stars. I think the average age of people that watch it is 61, so a lot of like older.
Wow.
I didn't know that either. Yeah, a lot of older women are like so excited to meet me. They don't care I compete at the Olympics. They're just like, I loved your Afro jazz. I'm like, thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
That's awesome. So speaking of Dancing with the Stars, I know that you found out a couple months before it was announced that you got selected to be a competitor on that. Who did you tell? I know that you were allowed to tell your parents.
I really was good about not telling anyone. Of course, I mean, my agency, they were the one that got it for me. I told my family, and I told my coaches, just because we had been talking about when I was going to get back to training, so I had to communicate with them. Of course, I'm really close with my coaches, and then I really didn't. I mean, I maybe told 1 or 2 friends, but I was really good about not telling anyone, because if it gets out, then you can't do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to risk it.
A couple days after you got back from the London Olympics, I know you did an interview with Access Hollywood where you actually said one of your dreams was to one day be on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh my God, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Really?
And
oh, wow.
I did my research.
Oh my God, I don't even remember. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I have always wanted to do it. I think it's so cool. I actually remember I did a cab ride confession thing. We did something like that in London, and we talked about Dancing with the Stars. So, I mean, I've always wanted to do it, but I knew it was going to be hard because they only choose one Olympian, and there were so many great ones, and I wasn't sure if they'd go for a gymnast because they had just had
Mary
Sean.
Lou was also.
Oh, really?
Wasn't? What did she do?
Well, she won 1984 Olympics.
Yeah.
So I don't think she was on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh.
Dorothy Hamill.
Dorothy Hamill.
Yeah.
Sorry, brain fart.
Well, I didn't know if they'd have another gymnast because
Yeah.
they just had Sean on the All-Stars, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I'm obviously so happy. It was definitely like the first time in my life where I was able to just like have so much fun. You know, the Olympics was an amazing experience. It was a blast, but it's also a lot of pressure. You know, your whole life rides on that moment of if it's worth it or not, you know? So it's kind of like at the Olympics, it's not about having fun because you're like, I can have fun later on. You know, right now I want to be serious and I want to do my job here. But Dancing with the Stars, it was of course hard, but it was the most fun. You know, all the cast members, you know, all the pro dancers are so nice. So I really loved it.
Yeah, and I know that you said when you were in the Olympics, people only got to see your serious side because you were so focused. But when you did Dancing with the Stars, people got to see your silly side.
Yeah, they got to see me stealing bracelets. I was really happy with that, actually, you know, because you know, the Olympics, I mean, all of us, we were just so serious. Even after interviews, it's like with Bob Costas, it's like I just was like, yeah, I'm really happy today. You know, it's just you're so serious, and it's like, you know, Mark actually helped me out with that a lot. It's just even in interviews trying to like just be myself more. You know, it's hard when the camera's on to really be yourself because you know that people are watching, so it's a little more nerve-wracking.
Yeah, and dancing and gymnastics, it's a common misconception that they're very similar.
They're so different. I mean, in gymnastics, it's I'm not dancing with Mark. You know, I'm out there by myself, and if you watch my floor routine, I'm basically only tumbling and doing jumps. I'm not doing like rumba or cha-cha, and even the footwork is very different. You know, the way your feet are turned out is completely different in dance. You know, releve is different. Your head position in gymnastics is more like your chin's up, and then dancing is kind of like it's like they say like through your eyelashes, so you kind of like stare the camera down, so it's very different.
You're flirting with the camera.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. I mean, yeah, that's another thing. I never had to like try to be like sexy or sassy before, so that's really different. It's something that you have to get used to. And week 1 I had to do cha-cha, so I was like, oh my God.
And your partner Mark Balla said that you'd never really counted music before.
Oh my God, never. I still struggle with it. It's just like, I think it's like one of those things that you have or you don't. I always joke, I say the only thing I'm good at is gymnastics. I can't snap, I can't whistle.
What?
I can't, you know the thing with your tongue, how you curl your tongue? Like, I can't do that either. See, I can't do it.
A clover.
I can't do it. There's only like, I think there's like 3% of the people in the world, so I feel lucky, I
Wait,
guess.
so you can't do it at all?
That's
That's just funny.
I can't, but I really can't snap. Like, everyone like will try to like sit down and teach me. I'm like, no, like, I'm 19. It's just not gonna happen.
When I was little, I used to pretend like I could snap, and I would hit my leg when I
Oh my
did.
God,
I thought that was the same thing.
Oh.
You're a snapper now.
Yay, that's such a good idea.
You got it.
Oh my God, I'm gonna do that. Wow, I like
it'll
that.
fool people, yeah.
Yeah,
especially when it's under a table.
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
So I know a huge testament to how much you grew as a dancer throughout the season was when you did the Afro Jazz. The producers changed your music 10 minutes before you went live.
That was probably like one of my least favorite moments ever on the show. It was, Mark jokes, he's like, I turned into the Hulk. Like, he literally did. He was so crazy. He was so stressed out. We were like literally in like the blistering heat, like on the cement doing the Afro Jazz routine. Like, I was dripping sweat. Like, I was like, oh my God, like dying. It was so stressful because I'm not very good at, I'm used to in gymnastics, you have months and months to prepare for your routine. So having like 15 minutes to do it, 5 days is scary enough. So I was like, but, you know, after he was like, wow, I have a lot of respect for you that you know, I was like, I mean, I think I'm just, obviously that's how gymnastics helped me, was dealing with that pressure of having to do it in a few minutes.
And you pulled it out. You got a 29 out of 30 on that routine, which is ridiculous.
I'm so excited. I mean, I loved that routine. It was really fun. I loved the costumes and the makeup. The hair and makeup team did that in like, I think they did it in like 19 minutes, and they like did all of that. It was just so awesome. They're so great.
So competing in the Olympics, did that prepare you at all? I don't know, like, is Dancing with the Stars more of a competition, or was that more fun for you?
Well, it's funny. In the beginning, I was like, okay, I just want to win. When you first hear about it, and I was really competitive. Like, I'd go into Jacoby's rehearsals and just sit down and like watch him, and I was like really competitive about
Try
it.
to
Like,
psych him out.
Yeah, in like a joking way though, But then like after the first episode, I was like, you know what? Like, I just want to have fun. Like, as the shows went on, I got less and less competitive, so I just enjoyed it more. I said from the beginning, like, I'd rather have more fun than win and not have fun at all, because my whole life has always been intense gymnastics, so I loved it, and I made it to the final, so I was so happy.
What was the emotion running through your mind during the last dance that you had?
I mean, it's just more it's like it's more emotional just because you're like, oh, this is our last dance together, and it's sad. And I remember after the show, I was, I was emotional because not because I got fourth, but just because it's over, you're saying bye to everyone, and you're all a family. You're literally with each other 24/7 for 3 months. So you get really, really close. And, even the producers, they're so nice, and everyone, you get to know each other so well. And then it's just like, okay, bye, see you later, so it's
Back
sad.
to Boston.
Yeah, I don't know how the pro dancers do it. Every season you get a new partner that you become so close with, you're with every second, and then you just don't really see them anymore. That must be so hard for them.
I know that Derek and Marie are still very close. Like, they see each other.
Well, it's easier for them, because I live in Boston, so with Mark it's so far, but at least they live like really close to each other.
Mark needs to start touring and going to Boston.
I know. Well, he said he's on the Dancing with the Stars cruise right now, and he said he was getting off in Boston. I was like, oh, figures. Like, when I'm here.
That's hilarious. So moving forward, I know you are getting back into training for the 2016 Olympics.
Yes.
Floor routine is your favorite, obviously.
Yes.
So are you going to bring anything, or is it even possible to bring anything from Dancing with the Stars, something that you learned, to your floor routine?
I think more, it's not necessarily the exact dance steps, but more like the confidence and the way that I'll carry myself in my floor routine. I think, I won't be shy or embarrassed. I think like a lot of gymnasts, they lack the personality in their routine because they think that it's like embarrassing. But what Mark really taught me is, if you do that, then it looks even worse. You might as well go out there and own it, and then it looks even better. So I'm really excited. I'm thinking that I might want some kind of like Argentine tango type thing. So it's going to be like very intense, but also have a little bit of a sexier side to it. So it'll be more mature.
Is it hard at all to get back into training now that you've
so
taken
hard.
so much time off?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's I've never taken off any time from gymnastics. I mean, I still work out a lot, but it's going to be very hard. I mean, like I said, it will be a little bit scary trying those skills that I haven't tried in a long time, but my coaches are great. We're going to do a lot of conditioning for the first few months, not rush back into it. I'm hoping to be back in competition next August, so there's no rush, and then hopefully compete at World Championships, which is the Olympics, but it's every year for gymnastics. So I just want to pace myself, and I'm really excited about it. I've missed it a lot.
Yeah. Moving forward, what goals do you have for the future?
Right now, I mean, I'm not really sure right now. Just kind of taking it one day at a time. I'm gonna balance school and college. I'm not sure where I'm gonna go yet. I mean, because I'm professional, I can't do college gymnastics. So I'm gonna train with my coaches and back in Burlington, Massachusetts, and then just take a class somewhere, 1 or 2 a week, somewhere local. So I have to figure that out.
So you still want to pursue academics too?
Yes, of course. Well, I mean, that education is obviously so important, and it will be hard because I'll be training about 7 to 7.5 hours a day, but I'm gonna, even my coach was saying the other day, he's like, you have to do it, and I was like, I totally know that. I totally agree. So I'm glad that he's on board with that. My coaches, they're so amazing. They're so supportive, but they also get, gymnastics is important, but so is education. So I'm glad.
Do you have any idea what you want to study?
I have no idea. I'm kind of like a businesswoman, so maybe something like that.
That'd be cool. I know you mentioned that you might want to start a fashion line eventually.
Yeah, well, I do have my own leotard line, so I love that. It's so fun. Doing Dancing with the Stars gave me so many like cool ideas. Fun, bright colors. And I remember I have a leotard coming out that's like bright yellow and hot pink, and they were like, are you sure you want to do that? I was like, yes, I love it. Because they were like, okay, whatever you say. They thought I was crazy, but, from Dancing with the Stars, you get so many cool ideas. And I remember I wore, like, a navy blue and, like, bright orange costume, and I loved it.
Yeah. Well, those are complementary colors.
Yeah, they're
so
very cool, yeah.
But I love that. I mean, I feel like it'll be great for young girls, especially.
Yeah. Well, the little girls, they love, like, fun, bright colors, and I do, too. I mean, I wear, like, hot pink leotards, like lime green, bright blue. I love it. I feel like, when you're at the gym so many hours, when you look down and you see, like, a bright pink Leo, you're just like, okay, I feel better.
Cheers you up.
Yeah, it's better than just wearing black. It's so boring.
So, Michaela, actually, she had a stint on Heart of Dixie.
Yes.
Do you have any acting aspirations?
I mean, it would be cool to do like a cameo or something, but I mean, I was so excited. I think Gabby did something for Vampire Diaries too. So it's so cool for both of them. It's awesome. I know that they both want to do something with acting, but they're actually both training now. So probably after the next Olympics. But it's really awesome. They did a great job.
Yeah. So I know that you looked up to Nastia Liukin and a lot of other Olympians. Who else do you look up to in Hollywood now that you're kind of immersed in it?
Let me think. I mean, I've actually do have to say, like, a lot of the celebrities I've met, I feel like they have that reputation for being divas, but they're all very, very nice. I met, let me think. I've met, like, Eva Longoria and Halle Berry. They were so nice. They, like, genuinely wanted to have a conversation with me. But I also, I mean, I look up to so many people. Anyone that's just, like, a nice person. I really respect people that just appreciate what they have and they're nice. You should never forget where you came from. And, especially with athletes, when you see a little kid that wants your autograph, you were just like them when you were younger. You wanted that autograph too. So it's like, that's why I always, will take pictures and sign autographs and do whatever they want. And if they ever have a question or anything, because I was literally just like them. I was like that annoying kid that would come up to you during dinner and be like, can I please have your autograph? You just want to be just like them.
Yeah. And I know I mentioned earlier that you are a role model to so many young girls out there. You work with Ask, Listen, Learn, which is a very empowering movement, just telling kids that it's okay not to drink, to say no to alcohol. So what have you done with that program?
Well, I visited a lot of middle schools around the country. I actually got to go to my little sister's middle school, and it was my old middle school in April. So it's just really exciting for me, and it means a lot. My brother is finishing up his junior year of high school, so he's at that age at high school. So I'm glad that I can be there for him and like be a good role model for him. And my parents are partnered with them too, so it's a group effort, and it's really great. I'm really glad that my parents are so supportive, and it's basically sending the message for parents to be there for their kids, to not be afraid to have that conversation. I know that if my parents weren't supportive, I would not be where I am at all today. I know I can go to them for anything, and I think a lot of times people are afraid they're afraid if they don't give in to peer pressure that they won't be cool, it's so not true. A lot of people, that drink and, do all that bad stuff when they're like in 5th or 6th grade. I mean, they end up dropping out of school, so it's really unfortunate. So I'm hoping that, kids will listen, and they, if I drank before the Olympics or even now, I wouldn't have anything. You have to have your priorities straight, and I think it's really important to have a goal in mind.
And there's so many people that I feel like don't portray that positive aspect of, like it's so easy to get caught up in partying and whatever else, because it's easy, that's all it is. But there are so many kids that I feel like they look up to athletes, especially.
Yeah, definitely.
And try to, I don't know, they see the positive in that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I mean, before the Olympics, especially my senior year, I would barely hang out with my friends. If I went out with my friends, I would be back home by like 10 o'clock, 10:30 on a Saturday night, and I sometimes didn't even have practice on Sunday. I was just so tired and so focused, and I think people sometimes, forget. I mean, that's okay. I put my social life on hold because I had such a big dream, and I mean, I'm glad that it paid off, but at least I know, that I have no regrets, and I did everything I possibly could, and I worked so hard.
And it's all because you had a goal.
Yes.
So I know that you got a lot of great sponsorships recently. One of them is with Pandora. You have been with them for 3 years now doing their jewelry.
I just, since the Olympics.
Oh, since the Olympics.
Yes.
Okay. So what is that sponsorship or partnership like?
Well, I mean, being with Pandora, we just renewed the sponsorship, so I'm really excited. They're so amazing. You know, I'm actually wearing all their jewelry right now, so they're awesome. And actually, for the event today at the hospital, they're giving all the kids bracelets that I picked out. So they're all going to get Pandora bracelets. So I'm really excited about that. You know, it's for me, you know, Pandora is all about capturing the special moments. So I've, you know, of course, the Olympics was so special to me in Dancing with the Stars. So every, you know, new bracelet you get and every charm, it represents a special memory. So I really love that. I think it's really special. And my mom was actually in the Mother's Day ad with me. So that was really cool. You know, my mom and I, she's my best friend. We're so close. So to be able to share that with her was really amazing. And I'm actually doing an appearance for them tomorrow at, what mall is it at, Harry? Thousand Oaks Mall.
In California,
yes.
One of the malls in California.
Yes. So I'm really excited about that, and it's always fun to meet the fans, and a lot of gymnasts come, so it's fun. We did a question and answer for them in Las Vegas, and they just like crowded around me, 20 of them, and were just asking me all these questions. They asked me the weirdest things sometimes. They asked what I'd do if I had a unicorn. I was like, okay. I was like, I think I would fly with it. What would you do if you had a unicorn?
I would pet it.
Yeah, well, another.
I mean, I would take a picture of it because I feel like no one else would have a unicorn.
Yeah, you definitely brag about it for sure.
Instagram that.
Yeah, Instagram it definitely, and tweet it.
Yeah.
And make a Vine and everything. But someone else was saying, they were like, no, you should sell it. It'd probably be worth so much. But I was like, you cannot sell a unicorn.
Yeah.
It's like
what do they do in Harry Potter? It's like they're a magical being.
I actually really don't watch Harry Potter.
Really?
I'm like one of those people that's just not into it.
Well, I mean, you have very little time.
Yeah, I'm not really a TV person, but I mean, I think Harry Potter, I think it's really cool.
What's your favorite movie then?
I like funny movies.
Yeah.
Let me think. Which one did I just see? I remember a little fun fact. I remember before Olympic trials, we watched 21 Jump Street together.
Oh,
it was really funny.
That's an awesome
movie. I like that movie. I watched...
Channing Tatum's not bad to look at either.
Oh, not at all. And I watched Safe Haven on the plane the other day. It was really good.
Yeah.
I thought Julianne was really good in the movie.
Mm-hmm. And you have a little Dancing with the Stars tie because of...
Yeah.
So, last question. Just, do you have anything that you want to promote other than what we've already talked about? Twitter?
Oh, yeah. I have Twitter, but, I mean, let me think. What else is there? Got any ideas? Anything? I don't know.
Audience? Well, Twitter, they can find you on Twitter at
Allie_Raisman, and then Instagram is Allie Raisman. They're not the same.
Are you Vining too?
I don't have a Vine.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, Instagram has video now, so they can find you there. Well, Allie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And I have to say, for all of our fans at home, if you want to subscribe to Chatting with Cathy, just go to iTunes, type in AfterBuzz TV. You can find all of our shows. We also do a plethora of other shows, after shows for your favorite TV shows. Find them all there. For Allie, for Phil, our engineer, for everyone here today, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you next time.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.